Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32, and good morning, Naps family, wherever you are listening. Thank you so much for listening to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. I'm your host, Robert Wakefield, the president of Branch 32. That's right. Thunderous applause. Thank you. Thank you. Got a great show lined up for you. So stick around and go ahead and pour that first cup. Get ready for the Nashville Post Office Credit Union's 101st annual meeting on March 27th. We're giving away 200 meal tickets for a free food truck lunch, courtesy of NPOCU. So be sure to grab yours while supplies last. This year's event is a relaxed come-and-go gathering at the Credit Union from 11 to 2. So stop in, enjoy great food, connect with friends, and pick up a chance for some door prizes. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup this morning, this will be part 2 of our series on the ELM 615.3, and we're talking about non-disciplinary corrective measures. So good morning, NIPES family. I've already said that, but pour that cup, settle in. Let's ease into this episode right here as we're going forward. All right, today we're focusing on just one sentence. That's right, just one line, but it's a big one. It's the line that sets the tone for everything else in 651.3. Now, here's the exact language. Accountable managers / supervisors are responsible for the direct day-to-day performance management of subordinates. Now, that might sound simple at first glance, and it probably is, but when you slow it down and really think about that, this one sentence tells you almost everything you need to know about how leadership is supposed to work in the Postal Service. So let's take it piece by piece, or as we're talking about coffee, let's take it sip by sip. That word accountable, that word accountable, it matters. It doesn't say managers are observers. It doesn't say managers are scorekeepers. And it also doesn't say managers are disciplinarians. What it does say, it says accountable. And accountability means ownership. It means presence, and it also means responsibility. And in the Postal Service, accountability isn't about blame, it's about leadership. Did you hear what I just said right there? It isn't about blame. Boy, it seems like every time an EAS employee turns around, they're being blamed for something. But it's not about blame. This accountability is not about that. It's about leadership. It's about a manager understanding that the success of the operation isn't something they watch from the sidelines. It's something that they actively shape. And that's important. When the ELM uses the word accountable, it reminds managers of this. You're not just responsible for outcomes. You're responsible for the people who create those outcomes. Well, that's a big difference. And this is really where the ELM gets practical. Notice it says day to day. Did you catch that? It's not once a month. It's not when something goes wrong and we need somebody to blame. It's not when a report comes out. It's not when someone from higher up gives you a call and complains about something. It's day to day. And that means leadership is supposed to be consistent. That's the point I wanted to make. Day-to-day performance management looks like this. It's being present in the operation. It's knowing what's happening in real time. It's also understanding the challenges that employees face. And it could also mean seeing the patterns before they become problems. And it also looks like that you're offering support before the frustration begins. Day-to-day performance also looks like giving feedback while it still matters. Now, here's something I want to point out here. It's not micromanagement, it's engagement. And we have plenty of micromanagers in the Postal Service. You may be working for one. But micromanagement is not hovering. No, I'm sorry. Micromanagement is hovering. Day-to-day leadership is helping. Micromanagement is control. Day-to-day leadership is connection. The ELM is telling managers your job is to be involved, not invisible. Now, let's talk about that word subordinates. That's an old school term. We don't use words like subordinates like that anymore. It's not how we talk in NAPS. We talk about employees, we talk about team members and people. But in the ELM, when it talks about subordinates, that simply means the folks that you're responsible for leading. And here's the key. 651.3 is not about hierarchy. It's about relationship. This sentence is saying this: if you're the manager, the responsibility for performance leadership starts with you. It does not start with the employee or the district or the IMPU or the numbers on a dashboard. With you. And the thing to remember, this is not pressure. This is just simply clarity. So let's bring this into real postal life. What does it look like in postal life? A manager practicing day-to-day leadership might look like this. They walk the floor and check in with the people. I've given you the example of the postmaster who went around and said good morning to every single employee on his workroom floor and asked every one of them how they were doing and what can I do to help you today. That is day-to-day leadership. A manager practicing day-to-day leadership might ask questions instead of making assumptions. Oh, let's try that. I like that idea. They also might notice when someone is struggling. Oftentimes, we don't know what's going on in the personal lives of our employees. Maybe they're having a struggle at home. Maybe sickness has entered into the family. So if you notice when someone is struggling, day-to-day leadership checks on them. Day-to-day leadership also might offer help before the frustration sets in and explains expectations clearly. Day-to-day leadership also follows up on conversations and celebrates the small wins. They correct small issues before they become big ones. Let me tell you this. It's not about catching mistakes. It's about catching opportunities. Not pointing out things that go wrong. It's about helping people get it right. And when managers do this well, something powerful happens. Corrective measures become rare because improvement is happening every day. Now, let's be honest. We've all seen the other side. We've all seen the day-to-day leadership that's missing when you get surprise corrective actions. The letter of warning you didn't see coming. We also see it in frustrations and confusions. We also see it in resentments, for example. Miscommunication is another symptom that day-to-day leadership is missing. Managers feel disconnected. Employees feel blindsided. Operations that run in fear instead of trust. That's exactly what 651.3 is designed to prevent. Look what it says. It's basically saying this: don't wait until something breaks. Lead every day. And from a NAP standpoint, this sentence that we've been talking about all morning is one of the most important in the entire ELM. Because when managers lead day to day, issues get addressed early. Relationships stay healthy. Communication stays open. Corrective measures stay non-disciplinary. Discipline becomes rare. Employees feel supported. Managers feel connected. Operations run smoother. This is the foundation of a healthy workplace. And it's the foundation of this entire series we're going to be talking about. So let me wrap it up this way. ELM 651.3 begins with leadership. Real, daily, present leadership. Managers are accountable. Performance management is ongoing. And improvement is something we work on together, not something we wait for a crisis to address. And again, this is the Postal Service's own rules. It's their own language. This is the standard. It's the kind of workplace that we're building, our one conversation, one day, one cup of coffee at a time. So it's real important that you grasp onto this first sentence in ELM 651.3, day-to-day leadership. That's going to do it for the first cup. Let's go ahead and pour that second cup. When your money is handled with care, life just runs smoother. At the National Post Office Credit Union, we've spent over a century helping members save smarter, borrow easier, and plan with confidence. From checking and savings to great loan rates and mobile banking, we make everyday finances feel a little lighter. Join a credit union that knows your name and understands your world. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, it's the first Saturday in March, so it's always the time that I like to go back and find the most obscure holidays for the month of March. That's right. So these are the three obscure holidays that we're going to focus in on this second cup of the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. And the first one is National If Pets Had Thumbs Day. That's on March the 3rd. This day explores the humorous and potentially disastrous or helpful scenarios if our pets could open doors, grab snacks, or even turn on the TV. National If Pets Had Thumbs Day. Okay. Then another great holiday that I think we should all celebrate, and that's, of course, is International Fanny Pack Day. That's right. This is an annual celebration, by the way. It's on the second Saturday in March, and this day encourages wearing this retro, often made fun of accessory, and wear it with pride. Okay. I would give $10 to see Jimmy Warden wearing a fanny pack. I think that would be fantastic. Okay. And finally, the last one that we're going to look at is coming up on March the 26th. And this is Make Up Your Own Holiday Day. This is a holiday that encourages all kinds of individuals to invent their own celebrations, such as National I Was Going to Clean Out My Closet, but I Sat Down Day. Okay, good gracious. I tell you what, that is so funny. That's people with a lot of time on their hands right there. All right, thank you so much for listening to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. Really do appreciate you doing that. I'd love to hear from you. I haven't heard from hardly anyone from branches. I want to know what branch you're in. So be sure to let us know what branch you're in. You can do that at the bottom of napsbranch32.org. There's a chat feature there. Just go in there and tell me what branch you're from, and I'll say hello to you. And that would be great. You can find that at napsbranch32.org. And to the right-hand side, a little thing will pop right up there that says you can chat with me. I'm the only one that gets that. All right. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much. And remember, every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupOfJoe@gmail.com.